Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another morning market watch. This is Saturday, November 16th. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is my third time trying to record this episode for you, so if you do enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It always helps me out and makes me feel real good inside. So let's get straight on into it. So I don't have anything cool to show you this time, guys. Sorry, I did go to a locals yesterday. I played Rescue Ace as Amina. The deck was really cool. I ended up going 3-0. It's just a small 4-person local, so nothing amazing. But if you guys are interested in a deck profile or anything like that, please let me know in the comments down below. And let me know what you want me to go over in future market watches, right? Like, I love seeing the comments. I love reading all the comments, so let's go ahead and get on into it. We're not going to look at the best selling because not a lot has changed. I want to look at the best selling of Quarter Century Bonanza. Quarter Century Bonanza has been out for a week. And the cards have kind of stabilized, so let's go ahead and look into it. So Thrust, you're looking at about $7 to $8, depending on the rarity you want. It's always really weird that the ultra rares are the lowest printing, or the cheapest printing. People think that, I think a lot of people just auto buy the supers because like lowest rarity equals lowest cost, but that's not always the case. And I did actually get ultras, so I got ultra rares of the D-Bellstar cards, and they actually do look pretty good. I actually do not hate the ultra rare quality on this set. So usually I don't like ultras. I prefer secrets or, believe it or not, commons. If you're wondering why I like commons, it's because commons don't warp. I've had a lot of issues with hollow printings warping over time, especially when they sit around for a while and they just collect moisture. But commons don't do that, which is nice. But the ultras are pretty solid. I would prefer to have gotten secrets, but they are a little bit more expensive. So anyways, SP Little Knight, you're looking at $6 to $7 for this card. Very sad for all of us that bought SP at $100, but I'm happy that I got my use out of it. My friends got its use out of it. I think somebody was borrowing my SP Little Knight for at least half of the time I owned it. And yeah, I'm glad people can play these now at cheap. Dia Bellstar the Black Witch, you're looking at $3 for the Ultra. Same thing for the Wanted and the Bonfire. I'm actually gonna go ahead and scroll ahead here, see what else we have. Yeah, super rare bonfires and super rare wanteds are holding about the same value. Secret rare black witches are only $4, so you only have to pay $1 more for that. But yeah, super rares are slightly more expensive for wanteds and Dia Bellstars and bonfires, so kind of interesting. Platinum secret rare is $18 for SP. It's kind of neat. I don't hate platinum secret rares. I got a platinum secret rare Fusion Destiny yesterday from part of my prize packs. And it wasn't, they look pretty okay. They're a little busy, but they look okay. So yeah, so that is the state of that. And I wanted to look at one, like all those Dia Bellstar cards from Bonanza, because I wanted to talk about this. So Deception of the Sinful Spoils, Deception of the Sinful Spoils. This card's been bought out. Only 15 listings, 3 of those are Asian listings, so you're only looking at 12 listings, and this card starts at 35, or 65. I bought mine a couple weeks ago for 35, actually. Which was a really good deal. And this card has gone up significantly. What I want to talk about is this kind of balance equilibrium type thing that you guys should be aware of for the Yu-Gi-Oh market. So when cards come out, really expensive cards come out in lower rarities like Dia Bellstar and Wanted and Bonfire, the Yu-Gi-Oh market has a tendency to all pick them up because it's like, oh, these are cheap now, we can play with them, let's go pick them up. Well, when you pick them up, you need the associated cards. Things like Deception of the Sinful Spoils, which is an incredible card. This card was insane. Even the cost right here of just tribute 1 monster from your hand or field. You can tribute a Dia Bellstar and just add it back, so it's so free. You can tribute something like a Mulcharmy or just a second Ash or something that you had in your hand, so that's really free. Yeah, this card is incredibly powerful. And because Dia Bellstar and Wanted and everything went down in price, this goes up because a lot of people need to pick it up. So that's why we see a double in price in less than a week. I think, do I have it here? I had it pulled up earlier. Let's go ahead and just pull it up. The same is true with original Sinful Spoils. The original Sinful Spoils cards went up as well. You're looking at $10 for the Prismatic Secret, and it was $1 to $2 a week ago. So if you guys open a bunch of tins, original Sinful Spoils was, I guess, a penny stonk, and it is $10 now. So go ahead and get rid of it. But yeah, so Diabellstar went down, OSS went up because the printing was a lot less accessible. A lot of people want to play the Snake Eyes cards now that they're accessible, they're cheap. Um, yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind. I've seen it with Labyrinth back when the oh god, what was it? The tins, last year's tins came out, and all the Labyrinth cards got reprinted, except for Big Welcome Labyrinth. And Big Welcome Labyrinth went from being a $3 to $4 Ultra to a $20 Ultra overnight because people just didn't realize that that wasn't getting reprinted. So if new cards are, or if reprints are coming out, you need to pick up their associated cards before they get expensive. That's just how you kind of play Yu-Gi-Oh on a budget. Basically, I was able to pick up Snake Eyes for, or the Diabellstar engine, the Diabellstar Azamina engine for about $100. Whereas now you're gonna have to spend at least $200-$250 for it. So hopefully you guys were able to pick them up. I think I did recommend you pick them up in the recent market watches, especially considering White Forest and Azamina and Snake Eyes are all getting new support in the future sets. So hopefully you guys listened, but whatever. Lubellion, I want to go over Lubellion because this card is holding a $25 price tag. It's not nearly as bad as it has been. Back when this was in Darkmoon Glass, and that was the most recent set, this is $70. So getting a playset for the price of what it used to be is not bad, but it is still expensive because Centurion is playing Bystials, and Dragon Link is a real deck again. Dragon Link is actually pretty strong. I'm surprised that not a lot of people are playing it. But yeah, Bystial Lubellion is about $25. It was only about 10 to 12 not that long ago, so hopefully you guys picked them up. I'm a little sad that I didn't pick up OG Secrets when they were $10, but hey, that happens. Fire King Courtier Ultinex, or Ulcanix. I keep saying Ultinex, I don't know why. This card keeps bouncing between $12 and $18. Last week it was $12, now it's up to $18. I think before it was $12, it was $18 as well. So this card, it keeps bouncing up and down. I think this did really well at the Remote Duel YCS. But I think the most important thing to know about this is it's a 2 of. I think if this card was more than a 2 of, it would be a $40 card easily. But luckily, it's only a 2 of if I'm not mistaken. And that means this is essentially the budget deck of the format. You're going to be looking at, if you're looking at pure Fire King, no Azaminas, no Snake Eyes, no nothing like that. I guess you can just play a wanted Diabellstar engine. That's not terrible. But yeah, you're looking at a relatively inexpensive deck, especially if you bought the structure decks back when they came out. That being said, one card that is not cheap for all of them is Raging Phoenix. Raging Phoenix is holding a $50 price tag. It has slowly climbed up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And yeah, this is an expensive card. You're looking at $40 for a Raging Phoenix. Now, I will say this card is incredible. I was playing this card with my Rescue Ace Azamina deck, and this is just a win button. Going Promethean into Raging into Zealantis is just a win button. It was really nice to just have like, oh, how do I get enough damage on board? Oh, Promethean into Raging Phoenix. That's how I get enough damage on board. But yeah, if this is a really strong card, and if you look at Soul Burning Volcano, I'll just pull this up real quick. You can buy a box for less than the cost of a Raging Phoenix. So my advice is really just go ahead and pick up the Raging Phoenix. You can buy the boxes and hope to pick up to open a Raging Phoenix or a Sunlight Wolf. But truth be told, it's probably just easier for you to go ahead and buy the Raging Phoenix. Scylla Hat Rabbit, I want to look at this card. This card keeps like, it continues to vex me because I do think this card is, I have turned around. I thought this card was very cope. I have turned around and said, okay, I understand this card now. It is 2 interruptions for 1 draw off of Fulos. But I don't know if it's better than IP into SP. Now I know, like, if you make the IP, you need 3 bodies to go IP into SP. You only need 2 to go into Civil Hat Rabbit, so it's less investment in terms of monsters. It plays better under Shifter because you can just summon 2 monsters, go into Civil Hat and pass. That being said, the interaction itself of being a spell trap pop and either a Solemn Warning off of Azaroon, or I believe multiple pops, like 2 pops off of the Silo Hat trick, I'm not 100% convinced that makes it better. That being said, it is still holding a $15 to $20 price tag, so if you picked it up back when it was $7 to $10, I mean, congrats, you're making bank. But yeah, I'm not I'm not personally sure how I feel about this card. Mermail Abyss Pike. This card is to the moon. This is the super rare from the Astro Pack. You're looking at $45. If we look at the rare, it's still about $11 to $12. And that's mostly because nobody's playing Mermail. This card hasn't been reprinted in a very long time. I will give it that. But the thing that somebody mentioned this to me, the Mermail was Neptibus. Neptibus is basically just circular, and nobody's playing Mermail. Half of it is because it's just too expensive. Not many people want to spend $11, $12 on a light play rare from 10 years ago. Not many people want to pay the $50 for the Mermail Abyss Megalo. And I get it, I really do. So it makes sense why people aren't playing it, but also, like, it doesn't really feel that good compared to something like Centurion. Why would you spend, $50 on an Abyss Megalo and, $30 on a playset of these when you just pick up Trudeas and Emblemas and Primeras and all that stuff? So if you have these lying around, if you played Yu-Gi-Oh! A long, long time ago, I mean, you might have some rare Abyss Pikes just laying around, and these are about $10. These are $10 bills, so feel free to dig them out and try and offload them. I want to look at Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. This set has dropped off so hard, and I am here for it. I'm not trying to shame this set. This was a very good set in my opinion. It had Diviner, it had Substitute, it had Jasmine, it had all the Sprite cards. I love the Ice Barrier cards. I wish they were a little bit better. It had Kurikara. The Infernoids are in here. Do you guys remember when tons of people, like pro players, were saying Snake Eyes Infernoid would be the best deck? Yeah, me too. That was really funny. God, nobody's played Infernoids. And I'm not shaming Infernoids. I know people love Infernoids, but I have not seen this deck since people were like, oh yeah, let's pick up Infernoid because Snake Eyes can summon a level 1 fire, which means we can summon Decatron. Yeah, because summoning Decatron is so much better than summoning Snake Eye Ash. But no, this set is good, but you are looking at only $15 for the most expensive cards, Lara and Yubel. So unfortunately, this set is not, it didn't hold too much value, but I see a lot of potential value. So the Blazing Cartesias, the Shining Star Dragons, the Sprites, the Jasmines. I see a lot of potential value in this set, and I'm here for it. So I recommend just holding on to some of these cards. I think that there's a high likelihood that things like Return Zero and Secret Rare Branded Fusion and the IBS and everything is going to go up in value eventually. I also want to look at Trickstars. So Trickstars are getting new support. I think a lot of people forgot that. I definitely forgot that. And I was like, oh, Trickstars, right. Trickstars are a cool deck. They were meta at one point. It's a burn deck, right? Yeah. I watched a Master Duel replay of this deck, and oh my god, I never want to play against this deck, ever. It is impossible to keep track of what does what and how much points you take. I feel like it is a fair thing to say if you sit down from your opponent at any level of tournament and they normal summon a Candina, I feel like it is fair to hand them a piece of paper and say, you keep track of life points. You're the one doing all the damage. You have to keep track of life points. They can just FTK you, which is really funny. But this deck is miserable to watch. It's miserable to play against. I guarantee it's miserable to play as well because you're like, oh, 200 off this, 200 off this, 200 off this, 200 off this. Yeah, it seems horrible to play. That being said, it is a pretty cheap deck. You're looking at only about $1 for Candinas, $1 for Corobanes. Most of the links have multiple printing, so they're cheap. Looking at it, there's only 2 cards that are solo prints right now. That is this card right here, the Trickstar Devaris, which is a solo print from Savage Strike as an Ultra, and then this one, Trickstar Foxglove Witch, which is a dual power solo print. I guess Holly Angel is also an ultra rare that's a solo print from dual power. That being said, These are both cheap. This is not. So I don't know anything about the Trickstar deck. I will be completely honest, but there are a couple cards that are solo prints. So I would recommend, like, if you want to play Trickstar, like you played Trickstar or you love Trickstars for some reason, and you want to pick up the deck, I would recommend picking it up now. Just like I said earlier with the Diabell Star cards, the Trickstar cards come out, and you're going to see stuff like this solo print Divardis, Live Stage, all that stuff go up in price. Licorice, luckily, is cheap. You're only looking at about 50 cents to $1. Same thing with Reincarnation. You're only looking at about $2 for this. Luckily, it's not too expensive. I remember when this card was like $7 to $8. Lastly, I want to look at Tenyi and Sword Soul. So Tenyi, luckily, is super cheap. Tenyi is really cheap. If you want like a penny deck, this is probably a decent deck to pick up. That's just like, oh yeah, this is a deck that would teach people a lot about the game, because you have link summoning, you have synchro summoning, you have counter traps, you have all that stuff. But Sword Soul is really where I wanted to look at this. So Sword Soul for a long time was the cheaper, mid-rangey alternative deck that could easily win locals and sometimes top regionals and stuff like that, right? This deck is no longer cheap. I don't know what happened, but this deck is no longer cheap. I mean, look, so I remember Emergences being $5, right? So this is like $3 to $5. Chixiao is $3. You're looking at $4 for Changyings. This was pennies for a long time. This was like just, oh, you need a Synchro 10 and you can't afford Baron. Oh, I guess you just play Changying. But now that Baron's gone, this has kind of just gone up in price because it's the best one you can make. But then Mogi is also $5. So, I mean, just doing the math, you're looking at about $50 for a Sword Soul engine. And I gotta be honest, I'm not sure that's worth it. I'm really not. So my not financial advice opinion is, if you open a bunch of Magnificent Mavens and you have Sword Soul cards just hanging around, go ahead and offload them. Like, these will be reprinted eventually. When they do get reprinted, they're not going to be any more playable than they are right now. It's going to be the exact same level of playable unless they get new support. In which case, if they get new support, I mean, they're probably going to get reprints pretty soon after as well. And yeah, these are going to go down to pennies. So especially your Changyings. If you have a pile of Changyings just laying around from Mavens, go ahead and offload them. I think you have almost nothing to lose by offloading them. Obviously, keep like one for yourself if you want to play a Changying. I have one for my Ice Barrier deck. But yeah, so that is it for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy. If you really enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you want me to go over in future market watches. I love reading comments. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing that you enjoy the series. And let me know if you want to see anything else. You know, I'm always happy to consider new videos, new format types, all that kind of stuff. So I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.